Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 12th and final round.
Right hand, Golovkin steps in and down he goes again. Unbelievable! Mayweather makes him pay. What a rookie mistake. A sensational left hook by De La Hoya.
It's facts. I'm the best. You know what I mean? Sometimes I don't want to believe it myself, but it's the truth. I'm the best. I'm going to show you how great I am.
From Southern California, this is the Last Round Podcast.
Welcome to episode 114 of the Last Round Podcast, and today I have special guest James "Buddy" McGIRT. Happy belated birthday, buddy!
Thank you very much.
21 again?
Yes, sir.
So today I'm in a bit of a gym visit in. Is this classed as Lake Balboa?
Yeah, I guess that's what they call it.
So this is Lake Balboa at Buddy's gym. Anybody that follows us on social media can see all the amazing sketches that Buddy has around his gym. Buddy, how did you decide on who goes on the wall?
Well, to be honest, the guy who got the gym for us, this guy Patrick, he's the one, that was his idea. You know, he said, but I want some pictures up, and then we got Muhammad, and Muhammad started 1, 2, 3. The next thing you know, he just started putting, the artwork was great. Patrick loved it, so we just went from there.
So today I kind of dropped by because it's a kind of a quiet week in the boxing world, so I wanted to go over. You've coached a lot of different fighters that everybody knows. So obviously I wanted to go over Arturo Gatti, Johnny TAPIA, Antonio Tarver. So obviously Gatti came to you, I think it was in late 2001. A lot of people have kind of written him off. What is it that you did with Arturo to manage to turn him around?
Well, I tell fighters sometimes, most guys just react. Don't react, think. Think about what you're doing in there. You know what I mean? Most guys just react off the other guy. And it gets them to a certain point, but there comes a time where you got to use your brain. You know what I mean? That's what can carry you to the next level and keep you there for a period of time.
And then when obviously you had those 3 amazing fights against Mickey Ward, when you looked at that matchup, could you see that it was going to be the legendary fight that it was?
No. I knew in about the 4th round of the first fight we was in trouble when he hit Mickey Ward with a combination and Mickey slammed his gloves together and said, shit. I said, we're in for a long night.
And during that first fight, could you tell that, the fight was going that way, that it was going to be a legendary fight from the inside?
Because, what a lot of people don't remember is that was his second fight in over a year. And he had fought Teron Millette before that, but he stopped him. And when you go from that to a guy you're not knocking out, after round 6 you got to have a reserve in your gas tank.
I saw in a previous interview that you did, I think it was before the 3rd fight, that Gatti went into the fight with a hand injury. And there was a story that you told about how he actually took the padding from a bicycle seat.
Yeah, he took the padding from a bicycle seat doing training to wrap his hands. So we had to get bigger gloves because the padding was too damn big.
And before that fight, you just practiced with jabs and hooks.
That's it. And then that's why when he broke his hand, I said, let's go to plan B, which was the jabs and the hooks. And he had stated after the second fight that his adrenaline was flowing so much in that fight, he got used to the pain because he broke his hand in the second fight as well. So I figured if I kept his mind off of the hand, that eventually he'd get in the groove and start throwing it again, which he did later in the fight.
There's a famous picture about how Mickey Ward and Arturo Gatti were both in the hospital at the same time, like behind a curtain. Were you there present for that picture?
No, I wasn't, no. I left, Arturo's girlfriend and Mickey's wife were the only 2 people allowed back there.
How was Gatti, behind the scenes?
Great guy, hard worker. He doesn't trust too many people.
I saw that you said in other interviews that he was a bit of a joker around the gym.
Oh yeah, if he liked you, he was a real prankster. He loved, playing jokes. He was like a big kid. Once he got used to you and felt comfortable around you, he was like a big kid.
Any funny stories you could share with us?
Oh my God. I'd rather not. But there's a whole lot of them. But I just say that, he was just that guy when he was in that good mood and everything was going right. He was a pleasure to be around.
It must be strange for people outside of boxing that don't understand kind of like the the camaraderie people build, because, you know, obviously they had those 3 great fights, you know, went life and death with each other, and then became the best of friends.
Yeah, I mean, in the game, you know, you're there to win a fight, of course, but you ain't there to try to kill nobody. I mean, some guys said they had that mentality, but after the fight, you know, it's a sport. So after the fight, you know, you're friends after that.
Do you think fighters nowadays don't have that kind of like will to die attitude because they get too much too quick?
Well, I think that personally, a little bit. But then again, no one's ever been in that type of fight. I haven't seen no one in that type of fight in a long time, where it was a situation of, you know, I really got to dig extra deep. I haven't seen a fight like that in a while.
And it's funny because, you know, back in the day, people didn't really look at the records. Obviously, you know, people like Muhammad Ali are, you know, still now recognized as the best. But everybody nowadays has that Floyd Mayweather mentality where they want to protect that O.
Well, my thing is this. I think what determines a great fight is how you come back from defeat, how you handle it. I mean, all the greats lost one time or another, but that doesn't mean they weren't great fighters, and that's the problem that people have today in the game. You think if a guy's undefeated, he's a great fighter? No, man, you gotta really know what you're looking at, and not too many people know what they're looking at. You know, they see the flash, but you gotta look at little moves the guy do. You know, certain things that a fighter does that make you say, yo, this man got what it takes to be a great fighter.
When you're in the corner of someone like Arturo Gatti, is it hard sometimes to not, because you want to stop the fight?
Well, it's a case of knowing your fighter. You got to know your fighter, I believe. You know, a lot of guys say they know their fighter, but they don't know their fighter. I believe if you know your fighter, you can, you know how much you can take and how much you can't take.
Because of the way that Gatti was, obviously he was, you know, fighter of the year, fight of the year, like multiple times. Do you think we'll see anybody like Arturo again?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of young talent out there. I just think it's just a matter of time before we get to see it.
What were your best moments with Arturo Gatti?
In the gym. We had a lot of fun in the gym, man. You know, a lot of great memories in the gym, and you know, doing sparring. It's like one day he was getting ready to fight Duran. We was training for Duran, and he got a sparring partner in, and the guy was from Canada. So after he sparred the guy, he says, "Can I ask you a question, coach?" I'm like, "Sure." He said, "Who's the rocket scientist that got a Canadian to come spar with me? Where Duran is from?" I said, "Your manager." He goes, "I figured."
Moving on to somebody else I'm kind of fascinated with, Johnny Tapia. How did that link up happen?
Johnny, God rest his soul, great guy, man. He was kind of like Arturo in certain ways where he didn't trust too many people. And if he trusts you and like you and got you in his circle, you was his man. And Johnny was great. I mean, I don't have anything to say bad about him, man. He was, you know, he was just a great guy, man, and very competitive. Like we used to, after training, we had to play basketball every day. You know, we always had to do something to keep him busy. But the guy would give you the shirt off his back.
Was he one of the most naturally talented fighters you've ever had?
One of the most naturally talented I had was Vernon Forrest and Antonio Tarver. Those two most naturally just gifted. They didn't, you know, the world. I believe in my heart that the world never got to see how good those two really could have been.
Johnny always said he felt more at home in the ring than outside. Could you tell that as a coach?
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I mean, he loved training. You know what I mean? And he needed stuff to keep him busy. He couldn't be idle. So, like I said earlier, we would train. Then after training, he'd go take a shower, and then we'd go play basketball for 2 hours. And I suck at basketball. But, you know, his wife asked me to do it just to keep his mind occupied. And then after that, we go to dinner. Then after that, I'll go back to my hotel. And then he would wait a few hours, then he'd go do road work.
He just seemed like one of the most naturally talented because of obviously all the drinking and his outside influences, you know, with all the drugs and stuff like that. That when he came to training, he must have just been so natural because he didn't have that time to learn.
It was something he loved and something that kept him, like I said, kept his mind occupied, and he was having fun doing it.
Moving on to someone you just touched on, then Antonio Tarver. Obviously, you were in the corner for that famous Roy Jones fight. So is that something that you both just saw before that punch?
I saw it the first fight, and I told him, and I just, when we was preparing for the second fight, I went back in my head and remembered things that Eddie Futch and Georgie Benton had told me way prior to our first fight. You know what I mean? I picked their brains a lot, and they just said, remember, buddy, Georgie Benton said, remember, no matter how fast a man is, he can't punch and block punches at the same time. So if you catch him in between those shots, you got him. And that's basically what happened.
So how naturally talented was Tarver?
It's unbelievable. The talent that this man had is unfreaking believable. I can't. You would have to just sit and watch him, and then know what you're looking at and be like, this guy's phenomenal. Same with Vernon. Vernon was, oh my God. I had people used to come to my gym just to watch Vernon Forrest shadow box. Not spar, not hit the back. Just when he shadow boxed, it was like a masterpiece, man.
One of those people that can just pick up any sport, like pick up golf, table tennis, and just be naturally talented.
Yes, and here's the icing on the cake with Tarver. I knew he was going to beat Roy, but the icing on the cake was he told me he beat Roy in a basketball game. I said, I got the better athlete. The game is over.
Were you in the corner with Roy after he defeated Danny Green? Because there was talk of him fighting Vitaly Klitschko.
Who Tarver? Well, I was in. He called me the week before the fight in Australia, and I flew out for Danny Green. And then after that, I was trained in Macklin, so I couldn't get with Tarver. And he moved up to heavyweight after that, and I was just like, wow.
Did you have to talk him out with moving up to fight Vitaly?
No, not at all. His mind was made up, and once he makes up his mind, you just got to rock with it.
He's recently just changed to being a coach with such his high boxing IQ.
I think that he's going to be. I know he's going to be successful. He's going to be one hell of a trainer.
You in a previous interview you listed, I think it was Tarver 2, Tarver Jones 2, Tarver Jones 3, and also Tarver Johnson as your favorite fights as a coach.
Because it was, when he lost to Glenn Johnson, we prepared the second fight. I said we're going to work on going to the body only. And everybody's like, what are you talking about? I said pressure fighters like that don't like it to the body. And when he went to the body, he just took everything from Glenn Johnson.
And then the Tarver Jones 2, just because of that one punch?
No, it's because the first fight was, could have went either way. And then the second fight, everybody was like, you're in trouble now because Roy is in better shape now. Roy's this, Roy's that. So I don't give a damn what kind of shape he's in. It's not going to be there, Antonio.
Tarver as a coach, you think he'll just be good because of his boxing IQ? Because a lot of people who are naturally talented don't have to learn the game.
No, but
their natural talent.
He's a good teacher. I watch his Instagram videos. I watch him and then I call him up. He's gonna be phenomenal. I'm telling you. If he just, I told him he's got to have patience. I said you got to have patience, Antonio. He's gonna be. I'm telling you. I believe in my heart. He's gonna be one of the next best trainers in boxing.
Any other fighters that you've had that you think could make that transition?
There's a fight I didn't have him, but I know he can. He's another one that can. It's Louis Duval.
Oh, okay.
Louis Duval can. I've watched him in the gym with guys. Like this guy's phenomenal, man. I mean, so I see that from the old timers from when I was a kid. Like you see a lot of things and they teach you things. This is my wife.
So just jumping back in, you were talking about Louis Duval being a big coach.
Louis
Duval, sorry.
Yes, I've seen him in the gym a few times, working with guys, and I'm like, yo, this guy's gonna be a hell of a teacher.
I know that a lot of people were talking about Mickey Bay being an up-and-coming good coach. I know he's jumped on the team with Devin Haney.
Mickey Bay, yeah. I mean, I've never seen him in the gym, so I really, don't know. But, you know, I mean, it's a big transition, and I tell a lot of fighters, you got to have patience. It's, you know what I mean, when you from going from a fighter to a trainer, it's not as easy as it looks. You got to have patience because not everybody's going to pick it up right away.
Do you think a lot of young fighters now don't learn the basics before moving on?
Yeah, that's what's missing in the game.
That's something that's just missing from the coaches?
I mean, today boxing is the only sport where a guy, if he can hold the mitts, he's considered a trainer.
It's true. It's true. Moving on for our British fans, Matthew Macklin, someone that you'd worked with. You worked with Matthew before the Sergio Martinez fight.
Yeah. Great. I mean, listen, we had the fight won, man. We had the fight won, then he just got a little tired. But we had the fight, man. We had it.
Obviously, you know, he dropped Martinez in the 7th.
Yeah.
Ended up getting pulled out after the 11th.
Yeah.
But you actually turned around and said that you thought Matthew was a better fighter after that fight, that he grew in confidence.
Yes. He grew in confidence because he understood now I can be there with the best of them.
What do you think was the main difference for someone like Matthew coming from Britain, you know, opening his eyes and coming over to the US? Do you think that helped him as a fighter?
Yeah, I think it did because it was something different. I think he pretty much, being over in Europe, I mean, in Britain, I think that he had reached that point where he needed to get to that next level.
How was Matthew in and around the camp? Because he's known as a bit of a joker, a bit of.
He's a hell of a jokester, but he was also a hard worker.
Any good stories on Matthew?
Nah, you know, no, not really, because you know he was the type that after he trained, he left the gym and went home.
Do you think that more fighters from Britain need to do that? Because a lot of them, when they come over to these shores, just have that European style and they come unstuck against a lot of the Mexican fighters, a lot of the American fighters. Do you think they need to come out here more for sparring?
Yeah, I think that. I think you have to get a little bit of everything. You know, you gotta have all the spices to make it right. You know, some different variety. I think that helps a big time.
I like that. Needs all the spices to make it right. It's a good motto to go with. So, buddy, lately you've had actually a bit of a beef with Shakur Stevenson, I read.
I think it's been taken out of context. I don't have no beef with Shakur. I just feel my guy could beat him. But, you know, people have taken what I'm saying out of context. I praised him for being a world champion. Wish him nothing but continued success. I said nothing bad about the young man. I just feel my guy can beat him. I mean, what did I say so wrong?
No, I agree. I think obviously some fighters just don't like that, do they? You know, when you say you're going to get defeated, they just take it.
I'm saying my guy can beat you. So what am I supposed to say? My guy can't beat him? You know what I mean? I didn't say nothing bad about it. I praise him. Listen, I love the kid. I wish him nothing but the best. You know what I'm saying? And I've said it in the interviews, but, you know, people have a tendency of turning stuff around, which, you know, that's, you know, misery loves company, I assume.
Yeah, and I think that's why a lot of the times people, you know, media and people are set on the fence.
Yeah.
Because if they pick one side, then the other side kind of gets butt hurt and, you know,
exactly
creates beef that's not really there. And also, obviously, coming up was supposed to be Sergey Kovalev against Beck the Bully. Sergey Kovalev tested positive for synthetic testosterone. What do you think of that then, buddy, as a coach?
I mean, listen, only thing I can say is, man, I just hope that, you know, I heard that he was going to take another test, and I hope it comes back negative. Unfortunately, the fight is off. And then you can really say on that matter.
As a coach, do you ever look out for stuff like that? Somebody who comes in and, you know, has the look of, you know, maybe taking something, or you see it.
You know what? He didn't look any different. He looked good. You know what I mean? I mean, everything was going well in training. He was himself. That's why I don't understand.
All right, buddy. You know, so thanks for your time today. Obviously, you know, you're a busy man.
All right, thank you.
Happy birthday again.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for supporting and listening to the show. Follow us at The Last Round 12 on social media. Rate, review, and subscribe. This is The Last Round Podcast.
Brunch is not a time of day. It's whenever you want it to be. Anytime, any place. It's your time. That's why Cadbury Brunch Bar is packed full of tasty ingredients and dipped in just the right amount of Cadbury milk chocolate for the little treat you deserve. Whenever or wherever you need a proper break. Brunch.